If you're over 45 and doing your best to save, but still feel financially behind, this is the uncomfortable truth. Saving alone may not be enough anymore.
And the risk is not obvious today. It shows up later, when time is shorter and options are fewer. After 45, the timeline changes.
Retirement is no longer someday.
It is a date that gets closer every year. Inflation is persistent. Healthcare costs are rising. Longevity is increasing.
If your strategy is only to save what is left over each month, you may be protecting money, but not growing it fast enough to close the gap between where you are and where you need to be. In this video, we are focusing on 3 shifts that matter after 45.
Why saving feels safe but can quietly fall short. What many middle-class savers misunderstand about risk. And how to turn savings into a strategy that actually builds long-term security instead of temporary comfort.
Imagine David and Lisa, both 48.
They have always been responsible. They avoided credit card debt. They paid down their mortgage steadily. They contribute to a savings account every month. Their bank balance looks stable.
From the outside, their financial life appears disciplined and calm. But when they calculate retirement projections using realistic assumptions, something feels tight. There is no dramatic shortfall, but there is no clear margin either.
They are doing everything right by traditional standards.
So why does it still feel fragile? Many people believe that if they simply save consistently and avoid major mistakes, they will be fine. That belief worked decades ago, when pensions were common, housing was cheaper relative to income, and inflation cycles were different.
Today, that belief is incomplete. The structure of retirement has shifted more responsibility onto individuals. Saving protects capital. It preserves what you have earned. But it does not meaningfully grow it.
And after 45, growth matters more than ever, because the window for compounding is shorter.
When you are 25, time compensates for small inefficiencies. When you are 45 or 50, strategy becomes more important than pure discipline. Playing it too safe can become a risk in itself. Fear of loss increases with age.
Market volatility feels more personal because you feel you have less time to recover. Late starters often try to catch up by saving harder, not smarter.
And many people confuse liquidity with security. Seeing cash in a savings account feels safe, but it is visible and stable.
But long-term, inflation quietly reduces its purchasing power. If inflation averages 3 to 4% and your savings account earns 2%, you are slowly moving backward in real terms, even if the number on the screen increases.
After 45, the goal is not just accumulation. It is strategic allocation.
Instead of asking how much can I save, start asking whether your money is positioned to grow at a pace that matches your timeline and goals.
This is not about taking reckless risks or chasing trends. It is about intentional growth within a structured plan. Step 1. Separate your safety money from your growth money.
Keep 6 to 12 months of expenses in safe, accessible cash. This creates stability and prevents emotional decision-making during market volatility. Beyond that emergency reserve, evaluate whether excess savings are sitting idle.
Money that has no clear purpose may be limiting your future flexibility. Step 2. Audit your real return.
Look carefully at your savings account interest rate and compare it to long-term inflation averages. If your money grows at 2% while inflation averages 3 to 4%, you are quietly losing purchasing power each year. Assuming that no loss equals progress is one of the most common mistakes responsible savers make.
Step 3.
Increase contribution efficiency, not just contribution size.
Maximize employer retirement matches. Use tax-advantaged accounts where available.
After 45, catch-up contributions can provide meaningful acceleration. Tax efficiency becomes just as important as your return rate because taxes and inflation together can significantly reduce long-term growth. Step 4.
Align your investments with your actual timeline.
You may not have 30 years, but you likely still have 15 to 20 before retirement, and potentially decades beyond it. Completely avoiding growth-oriented assets out of fear can create a different risk, running out of purchasing power later in life. Balanced diversification often provides more resilience than extreme caution.
Saving builds discipline. Growth builds freedom.
After 45, you need both working together in a coordinated way.
Discipline without growth can lead to stagnation. Growth without discipline can lead to instability.
The balance between the two is where long-term security is created.
But there is one more mistake many responsible savers make. They assume it is too late to adjust strategy. That belief can be more damaging than market volatility itself. When you decide that change will not matter, you stop optimizing. You settle for maintenance instead of improvement. Historically, markets have moved in cycles. There have been recessions, recoveries, and long periods of expansion.
Over long time horizons, diversified investing has rewarded patience and consistency. Behavioral finance research also shows that investors often underperform not because they chose the wrong assets, but because they reacted emotionally at the wrong time. Calm consistency tends to outperform reactive safety.
You are not too late.
At 45, 50, even 55, you still have one powerful advantage: intentional focus.
You are more experienced. You understand your expenses better. You have clearer priorities.
Small, consistent improvements made now can materially shift outcomes over 10 to 15 years.
Imagine 5 years from now.
Instead of watching your savings sit still in low-yield accounts, you see measurable progress driven by structured allocation and disciplined contribution. Instead of hoping retirement works out, you have a plan built on realistic assumptions and steady growth.
That confidence compounds just like money does. Ask yourself something honestly.
Are you currently more focused on protecting your money, or positioning it to grow responsibly? Protection is important, but protection alone does not create independence.
Independence requires that your assets work consistently over time.
If you are over 45 and building financial security thoughtfully, this stage of life can become a turning point rather than a source of anxiety.
Strategic adjustments do not require dramatic changes. They require clarity, structure, and consistency.
In the next video, we will look at how lifestyle inflation after 40 quietly delays retirement, even for high earners. Because income growth alone does not guarantee freedom if spending rises at the same pace. After 45, it is not about saving more out of fear.
It is about positioning your money to work with time, not against it.